while.
Okay.
You're going to be quiet? Whoa. That's going to be hard.
Yeah, Bill, I understand you have some interest in success.
Shoot, man. I don't know.
You spoke out of school, Pat?
Huh? The what?
Come on, Bill. Tell us what happened.
Yeah, I got some letters back. They just allowed me. So everything in my signature card probably had, excuse me, hadn't gotten there yet. Well, it's there, but they pushed it back onto me on the 22nd, and even though they said the 23rd on it, so I don't know. So I'm just waiting. That's the only thing I can do right now.
Bill, is that the appendix you did?
The what now?
Was that the appendix you did for the attachment?
Yeah. I did the appendix. I did the signature card, but I didn't send mine in until the 22nd? What day did I tell you? Was it 22nd?
I don't know, 22nd or 23rd, Bill.
I think they might have crossed each other. That's what I think probably.
Could have been, because when you went into that site for the IRS and did that stuff, and then they came back and denied it, what was it, 1 day later or 2 days later?
Yeah, 1 day. It was on the same. The letter got the 22nd, and that's when I sent it out on the 22nd. So.
Yeah. So didn't they tell you it would be confirmed on the 23rd, though?
Yeah. Yes, it did.
Yeah. Okay. They denied you anyhow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I think
we have to get our black cards first.
Right. I think Patrick's right. That signature card is key to this whole thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that plus you also have to bring your ship ashore, just like what they told you at the Court of Claims, Bill. You have to bring your ship ashore. You're still out at sea.
Yeah.
I'm still out at sea.
You're still out at sea. You're not at shore yet. Okay, you're out there in the Atlantic Ocean drifting around somewhere.
Boy, I don't want to fool around and get the letters.
Well, that's what we need to do with these other money orders and see everything out here. In a lot of cases, all the income taxes and everything else. Somebody's got some static on the line there. Okay, go ahead and mute out, and I'll try and explain what the hell's going on here.
Yes,
okay.
Sir.
Tom, you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay.
Did the recording start, Tom? I didn't hear it say that.
Yes, it's on.
Okay.
Okay. Basically, what we have to do is we have to bring our ship ashore, and we have to disembark some of our cargo as bailment, okay, and place it on deposit with, so we have to come ashore, come to the American shores of commerce, and then we place our bailment in a protected bailment depository account with the U.S. Treasury Department, who is going to be acting as a protectorate bailee for us, the U.S. bailor. And that U.S. stands for the United States of America, not the corporate United States. Okay? And that's the way that they play the game in all these different countries out here, pretty much along the same lines. You've got two scenarios out here. You got the corporate side, and then you've got the de jure side of the government still in place, but you've got to try and find the right one. They've had it out here for us in America, but it was called a U.S. Possessionary. And we are a possession of Mother America, the United States of America, the nation. Okay? We came from the land, and we owe ourselves back to the land when we get through in our lifetime. So that is why the nation is basically possesses us, okay? Until you break that possession and leave for good that nation and move somewhere else. So we have to first come ashore, deposit money into our account, or deposit money and set up an account at the treasury. Now, the accounts are, in most cases, sitting there. We just have to fund them and then activate them. Okay? The activation is by having the signature card with the Federal Reserve banking system in place out here for that scenario. But all we have to do to activate it with the Treasury to utilize the 1099As, Cs, OIDs in the process, and then we expatriate from all of the foreign trade, our presidential trade agreements with the foreign country or foreign state, okay, we would do the 1099B, but we have to do everything by money order, okay? That was put in place in 1872 in the Postal system, in the dead world system. And that's what we're dealing. Right now, we're going to hell, or we're sitting in hell, and we need to have a passport or a pass to get out of hell. It also goes along with the scenario of the river Styx going between the living world and hell back in Greek and Roman mythology. You had to pay the boatsman, so you had to pay to get a passport on that system, and then that passport now becomes your account, your passbook savings account. And it should be the initial passport that you had, so now you don't use it as an international travel passbook or passport. You use it as a banking postal passbook savings account book. It's got entries on one side and it's got departures on the other side. So when you use it as a passbook savings account book, it's going to be deposits and withdrawals. Same terminology of entering and leaving a country. So you basically have to make a money order out, disembark some of your cargo, and that's what I sent one out this morning for $125 million off of my ship, and I might send another one out for the same amount. Put it on deposit with the U.S. Treasury Department, and they're supposed to act as a protectorate bailee and we're placing this in a bailment. In most cases, we should have had assets out there, and all the time we've been sending these to the wrong place. We've been sending them to, like on the taxes, income taxes. we know we owe no income taxes. But when you send them into where your state says to send them to, in Ogden or Cincinnati or wherever you are supposedly assigned by state that you're living in, well, that is a corporate state citizen has to file taxes at those places. You're not a corporate state citizen, okay? So yours goes to the address to where it says U.S. protector or foreign country address. The guys that are in England that have come over here and gotten 98 series numbers here in this country, they can go and they could do a money order against their certificate of live birth. And see, that certificate of live birth is basically your asset account, your citizenship, your nation's citizenship, not the corporate citizenship. So that's the one that's holding your cargo, and then you use whatever Social Security number they have. That's your routing number. That's on the top. The one on the bottom, if you have that numbering system, or on the back side, that is for the postal world system. But you have to place your assets on, you have to bring them ashore first. And then you place them in you have to bring them to the American shores or the English shores of commerce as a protected bailment and place them in a bailment depository account, which should be our passport account under our foreign grantor trust, EIN. And that would be then on deposit with the U.S. Treasury Department, not the Department of the Treasury. Anything that has of in it basically is the corporate side of the de jure government. And then, so when we place those in, now they become the protectorate bailee, and the bailee or the bailor, and that's you, would be able to come in and access those using the proper withdrawal forms. If you paid taxes inappropriately to the wrong place, the Court of Claims or the Federal District Court is where you would have to put your claim in that you filed those into the wrong place. Because basically when you file those into the Department of the Treasury Internal Revenue Service, you are essentially saying that you are gifting those monies to that corporation to pay the taxes that they owe. See, when you send it to the right place, you place it in bailment with the Treasury Department, and then you can turn around. You've basically done your thing. You complied that the taxes are paid, but then you turn around and you come in with a 1099-A and claim that back because you are the number one creditor in the nation. The people of the land are the number one creditor to the corporation that's operating in the nation. We have funded them with everything that they have. They have nothing. We're the one that basically holds either our sweat equity or our cargo on our ship. So that would be the scenario. You'd go after them on that. The key thing right now is you need to put a lot of revenge and everything else and going and getting the nickels and dimes back and get into the process of getting some of your real cargo on shore, and then you will have access to that real cargo instead of trying to fight the small things without having asset backing behind you. You need to get the real asset backing, then you can go against them, because they will basically bleed you dry in the courts. They'll drag their feet. You're operating in hell out here. And in hell, they can lie like mad. That's their MO. They can deceive you in every which way possible. You have to see what's really going on in being able to come out of a system. Then you can go in and properly combat them. So one guy this morning, you do a simple affidavit, and basically you come in on that affidavit and state you have to break the presumption that they're operating under, that you are a possession of the United States corporation or the corporation of the country that you're operating in, and that you are really a nation possession. You belong to the nation. You don't belong to the corporation. You make that statement, and that you are of age, and that you have your all natural rights and all other rights that were granted by your constitutions, by the Magna Carta, by the Articles of Confederation, by the Declaration of Independence here in this country. But you're not going to get them until you break the presumption that they're operating under, that you are a corporate citizen and you are not the United States or of America nation citizen. And then we have to bring our assets ashore to the American shores of commerce, because right now they're operating out there on the seas of commercial commerce, hidden away from us. They're just adrift out there. You have to take control of your boat and steer it ashore. There's been numerous songs and everything else about row ashore, row your boat ashore scenario. And basically there's also been statements out here made over the years in numerous movies and other places. My ship has come ashore. That's what needs to be taking place. We need to bring our ship ashore, deposit the assets. In some cases, we're trying to jump the gun and do too much out here first. Then, when we have our assets in, we are the bailor. The bailor has control of the bailment. The bailee is just the protector of that bailment to keep all of the commercial entities from attacking it. Okay? So, we turn around and we can do a 1099-A to basically transfer funds directly over to us. We can do a 1099-C to do a purchase and cancellation of debt to buy something. We do a 1099 OID because we're dealing with a bunch of commercial thieves out there, and the thief always has to pay double. So in their monetary system, their postal monetary system that they're operating with, we are getting a discount. When we buy something, we're discounting our true asset value into their system. So, like if you've got $125 million in the account, you spend that all out, you've got another $125 million that you can claim with a 1099 OID. These are the withdrawal forms that we need to submit to withdraw stuff properly from our account. Now, with the black card, you would be able to process that through, and they would be able to draw against that treasury depository account in the process. But I would rather, I think, go with the protected one in most regards. I don't trust the other ones. But we can play that out. I've got my Federal Reserve Appendix 1 and Attachment B's in for both an estate EIN and a foreign grantor trust EIN. Now, I'm placing my depository account with the Treasury Department under my passport number. That's going to be my account number. And then my routing number, bank routing number, or routing number, and my identification number will be my 98 series EIN number. That's the one in that we get in out of Philadelphia, whether it's 98, 99, or whatever. If it comes out and says that it's a foreign grantor trust EIN, accept it as that. Okay? So that's pretty much the scenario. We have to go in, and then we're coming in as a P-resident. Okay? We're an American. United States, the United States of America, president as a protected or a principal resident or a protected resident for a female. The females are operating under the laws out of the Book of Ruth as being a protected species under the protection of their father, their husband, or their dead husband in the scenario that they would rely upon, and their assets are on a dowry ship, because their dowry ship was supposed to be transferred over to the estate ship of the man when they got married. This all goes back to the biblical Old Testament laws that were in place by Moses and Jeremiah. So, I think I probably said enough. Go ahead and open it up for questions.
Hey, Patrick, I have a question. It's Gita.
Yeah.
So it would be a good idea for me to send in one money order with a big sum and put the voucher in with it, do the appendix for the attachment after, and then do a 1099-A and recoup some of that I've put on shore.
Yes.
Okay.
That's the scenario. You have to get that in. There is no 1099-V for 2014, but I had Tom post one up there on the site that I modified, and you fill that out, and like I said, you make your routing number for that account your 98 series EIN, your foreign grantor trust EIN. If you don't have that, use your estate EIN. If you don't have that, well, basically, you're just going to have to use your Social Security number until you get the other moved out of the system. Okay? But you have to get that foreign grantor trust totally in there so that you are protecting that from the corporation.
Yeah, I got that. So that goes on the voucher. Now, I used the 13 voucher, 2013, but I crossed out the 3 and put a 4. I should use the one you sent.
Okay.
That's okay. So it's probably best to do just one money order and make it for a large sum instead of doing 3 little ones.
Right. Now, where did you send it to?
I didn't do it yet. I was going to send it to the foreign Ogden address.
Foreign country and U.S. Possession.
Yeah, that's in the title.
That's why I put that one up on the site, because I took the other 2 addresses off so it wouldn't confuse some of these people that just don't have the full mental capacity of understanding what's really going on.
Okay. All right. I just wanted to know the steps so I do it,
Yeah, and then as soon as you get that in, basically they got 3 days to process that, and then after that you should be able to access. Now, when you do the money orders, I think I put on there that they need to send a confirmation back to you as you are the bailor.
Yeah, it's on the bottom of the back.
Yeah, you've got to. They have to comply with what the bailor orders them to do, because they're the bailee. And when you make a deposit, you have to get a receipt back that deposit has been placed in the book. So now you can make your proper entry into your passport book, if you have one. If you don't have one, then basically make up a little Excel file or something, or go and get an accounting book and set it up to where you place your deposits and withdrawals in it.
Yeah, I got one.
Okay.
So should I stagger it, do the money order first with the voucher, do the appendix after with the attachment, and then
you
maybe
can get those in right now too, okay?
Yeah, I have it. I'm just going to recheck it before I mail it out, and then I'll do the 1099-A maybe in about 5 days after it's all sent in.
Or basically you go and attach that 1099-C for your utility bill or whatever you need to set off.
You know what?
Okay.
Yeah, my mom.
Now you have to make a money. You have to make a money order out, and I haven't got those money orders posted up there yet. Okay.
For the bill?
I've got one made out for the 1099-A. Then I've got another one that's modified, and for the 1099-A, you have 2 different accounts. Okay. If they charge you a penalty or something like that, that goes to a different office. Mine goes to Kansas City for the penalties. So basically we place the penalties on file with Kansas City as a bailment, and then we can turn around and do a 1099-A to claim that bailment back, because we're the number 1 creditor. Okay? All of those bailments really belong to us. They don't belong to the corporation. All penalties, charges, and foreign claims, the first creditor in line is we the people. Okay? And since it's your assets, you are the number 1 creditor over those assets. So basically when you come in and you remove those assets, there's no assets left. And then basically the bailor, you order the bailor to purge the records of all other liens and claims against that.
You mean the bailee? We're the bailor. We're the bailor.
Yeah, we're the bailor, and we order the bailee to purge the records.
So that's probably where they're getting all the money, taking our money and building all these huge military.
Yeah, we're giving them too damn much money. They shouldn't be having any money. They should get out there and work for a living. Yeah, shut down this damn foreign corporation. They're just operating for profit out here. That's what came about in 1970 or 1872 under the 14th Amendment. They set up a for-profit corporation government in place. Okay, the de jure was still in the background, but they brought in this other one that was operating for profit. That's what the bankers and all the insurance companies and everything brought in. But insurance really wasn't brought in until 1887 into this country. And they're one of the biggest rip-offs of the people's assets in this country.
Patrick.
Yeah.
On the 1041Vs, previously we put a negative number there. Are we still doing
No.
Okay,
you put down what you're depositing, what payment you're making, what cargo you're offloading.
All right. And the first number one, it asks for an EIN number. Before we didn't put one there. We putting one there now?
Yes. If you've got your estate EIN or your foreign grantor trust EIN, you have to put that number in there. If you don't have an EIN, then you have to do the 1040V and use your Social Security number.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. See, the forms have all been here. We just didn't know how to properly utilize them. And all the 1099s are basically withdrawals. Even the 1099B is a withdrawal form to withdraw from your foreign or your presidential trade agreement with a foreign country or state.
So the bailment to the warehouses, we're no longer sending that to Washington, D.C., but to Ogden?
Yes.
Okay.
And Patrick, what
Yes.
do we use the affidavit with?
You would turn around, do that simple affidavit, and turn around, send it in the Secretary of State, and say, hey, I am not one of your corporate representatives, and I'm terminating all. You establish your standing that you are a protector of the United States. You are a possessionary citizen of the United States of America. Okay, not of the corporation. And see, then you place that, and also then you're going to address that you are ordering the termination of all of your presidential trade agreements with the state. And then you can list all those and submit that into the Secretary of State.
Okay.
Also into the court system, they have any court problems. You basically break their presumption that they have jurisdictional control over you.
Do we need to send in the affidavit before we do the bailment to the warehouse, or can we do it after?
No, Tom, you don't need to do that, okay? Just do it, okay?
It doesn't
Just
make
get this stuff in the process, okay? You sit there and mull around about this, worrying about which one do I do first, which one do I do next, which one, and basically you're just sitting there saying which, and basically the witch is going to eat you alive.
Okay, we do them all. Let them meet in the middle of the road.
Yes, get them done.
Okay.
Yes, you stew and fret, and basically the witches are going to eat you alive. Your witches. Because you can't make up your mind.
Well, I thought I caught from what you said there that we needed to send it in first. I misunderstood that.
No. Basically, get it done when you get it done, okay?
Okay. That's fine.
Thanks, Patrick.
Okay. Next.
I wanted to talk about your money orders, Patrick. Okay, how you fill them out. The top left-hand side, that will be your information that you put in. The stamp, sign, and date, that one. Go down
you put
to the
in
other
your
box.
address. Okay.
Yeah.
Let me go over this, okay?
Okay. Go right ahead.
Your address. You put your name as Mr. or Mrs. whatever. And then you put your street address. And then you put down, like here in America, it's going to be your city, your state, and then comma, U.S. possession. And then you will say on the next line below that, outside of federal U.S. zone. No dots in that U.S. Both the U.S., the U and S are next to one another.
Patrick, I'm going to.
And then you place the zip code in brackets. Okay.
Okay. Keep going.
Yes. And then you place your phone number on there so that they can contact you.
Right. Okay. Got that.
Then that's the one that I have up there is for making a depositary bailment into the account, and basically it can be modified to place that bailment into if you have a penalty or a tax claim or something like that, you would put that down in there. Okay?
Okay.
And then you go down and basically you fill in the date. I think everybody can handle that one. Then the tracking number, and I think everybody can handle that one. You make up your own tracking number for what you want to do. Now, you would want to think about this because you're going to have money orders for deposit. You're going to have money orders that are going to be dealing with your 1099As. You're going to have money orders that are dealing with your 1099Cs. You're going to have money orders that are dealing with your 1099 OIDs. And then you're also going to have money orders dealing with your 1099Bs. So appropriately make your numbering system to reflect that so you can track those 4 different 1099s that you're going to be operating with, because those are going to be your withdrawal items in the process. So you'd want to have a W in that nomenclature. The one where you make the deposits, you want to have a D in there so you know that that was a deposit, and these ones are for withdrawal, so you don't get them confused.
Okay.
Okay? And I know basically the American people are very damn easy to get confused.
Yes, sir.
Okay? So then you come down and you make pay to the order of. And basically you're going to pay to the order of when you make a deposit to the United States Treasury. And then you put in the amount. And then down on the memo line, you address what you're doing. Just like a regular check at the bank. But most people don't fill out that memo line. They just sort of want to get the thing in the process and just write the money in and say, here, I want that. I want. I don't want to understand. I just want. Okay?
Okay.
Then you come down and you sign as the ship bailor because you're bailing off cargo, so you're the bailor. You're bailing off.
Okay.
Yeah, you're bailing off the ship.
Questioner, do you have Patrick on speakerphone there, because we're getting a lot of feedback from you?
Okay, let's try that. How's that?
Okay, that's a little better. What do you say, Tom?
Well, I can see his volume go up just with yours, so that somehow it's feeding back to him.
Okay. No, don't stand too close. If you're operating through Skype or something like that, through your speaker, whatever, back off a little.
Okay.
Okay. then the EIN routing number would be your, on the one going in for the deposit, it would be your treasury tracking number, which is your Social Security number. Okay. On the other money orders, it will be an EIN routing number, which normally you should be using your 98 series EIN. Now, the one for the deposits go in under the U.S. Citizen, American U.S. Citizenship account number, which is your certificate of live birth. You're still alive. That's what that document says. You're alive. You're not dead yet. You don't have a death certificate. So basically all the misinformation that's been out floating around out there about the usage of that certificate of live birth has been bullshit. That is all ships have to be registered. So your American citizenship had to be registered with the Treasury. Then they turned around and tried to set up a false registry with the Social Security system using that number there to get you into the world of hell. Hades, okay? Under that dead number over there.
I'm glad I asked you because I sure would have got that one wrong. So,
and then basically you make your deposit, and then you sign down as you're going to come in as the P resident owner and do an authoritative or whatever the hell, authenticity of the deposit, of making the deposit. And then you sign it and date it and put your thumbprint on that one and then seal that. That is basically your medallion for this banking transaction.
Okay.
You have the authority. You don't sign and thumbprint the signature up above in the money order itself. You do your signing, your thumbprint, and everything else, and your sealing of the one that is down below to give the authenticity of this document.
Okay.
And then basically on the back side, it's pretty much you will fill in what account you want it in, the name on the account. You put your name, like say your foreign grantor trust name is Smoke Me or something, okay? Or whatever, okay? Whatever name you put down for your 98 series EIN. Or, no. If you have a passport, you put down the name in all capital letters that's on the passport.
Right.
Because that's the account name, that passbook savings account name. Then you go over and you put down the account that you're going to be utilizing and have that put in there. And it should be the passport account. And then you will basically be able to access that passport using your 98 series EIN. When you do your 1099A, B, C's, and OID money orders to do a withdrawal. And you will give your authenticity on that one at that point in time. And you will use that routing number there. And then the passport or passbook savings account number as the account on the money order. I don't know whether everybody followed that, but basically that's pretty much about it.
Yeah, it's like 1, 2, and 3 because I see how you have the back of it written. It's either your passport or your 98 EIN. Like you said, it's however you got your name written down when you did your papers. You put that on there along with your numbers. Okay. That's excellent. Yes.
And the other ones will be coming out in a couple days for the others. But I wanted everybody to basically get some of these on file. Get your assets off your ship. Bring your ship ashore or to the dock and disembark, okay, or bail off some of your cargo off the ship into the bailment depository under the protection or the protectorate Bailey. In America here, it's the U.S. Treasury Department. Whatever you do, don't send it to the Department of the Treasury. You'll never see it again.
Oh yeah, Patrick. When I was looking at the front and back of the paper at the bottom, where you have front money order and back money order, that will be the tracking number, correct?
Yes, that's the tracking number. So that basically you can, if you run a copy of it, you don't have two-sided printing. Basically, then you'll be able to keep both pages attached to that one document.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Okay. You should always have capability of two-sided printing. You print out one side in your computer, and if your printer doesn't have automatically two-sided printing, then you turn around and put the paper back in and then print the back side on that sheet of paper. That's how you get two-sided printing when you don't have an automatic printer.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I've done that. Patrick, so you say it's best to fingerprint and emboss the middle part of the money order.
Yes.
Not the top, not where the 3-cent stamp goes.
Well, you do the 3-cent stamp. You can sign and date that 3-cent stamp and put your thumbprint up there and seal it. Now you've posted that, okay?
Mm-hmm.
You always have to cancel a stamp, and then it's posted. So when you put the 3-cent stamp on there, and that's why I say posted, signed, sealed, and dated. So when you cancel that stamp up above and seal that, just like at the post office, when they cancel a stamp in the mail, then it's posted. Now, if the stamp isn't canceled and everything, it was never properly posted.
So by signing it, putting a thumbprint and sealing it with signature, it's canceling it.
Yes, and you are essentially posting that mailing. This is a mailing. Mm-hmm. All documents have to be mailed.
And did you say something else about the middle part of the page where you put your routing number and your other number, registration number? You have to sign there, endorsed by. And do you also have to emboss that area?
That's the one that you endorse, okay? Or you basically put your fingerprint on to where it says American P residential owner, okay? Or whatever I have there on the document you have, okay? I'm looking at one of the 1099-C documents money orders that I made up, so I might have modified it a little more than what the initial depositing one said. So whatever the middle part, the signature that is outside the box, okay, of the money order itself.
Right.
What is in the box is the money order.
Right.
Okay? Then you sign, you date it, you seal, you put your thumbprint, and then you seal it.
Yeah, that's outside the money order. That's underneath it.
Yes, right underneath it. Okay.
By the flag. Yeah, by the flag. Those were those.
Yeah, you don't need to have that flag on there, whatever. So I think the one that I sent, the last one that I sent to Tom, I took the flag off, and because it wasn't printing out proper. So, and some of you guys really don't understand that flag entirely. So, just leave it alone. Okay. Even though I used Pat's stamp on the back of both IRS letters that I sent off to date to them on the back side, saying don't tread on me. So I'm sure they'll like that one.
Yeah, it came out fine with the yellow background.
Okay.
Yes,
well,
when
Tom did a
Prakash
pretty
is
good job
doing
of
an
doing
insider
a
side, he's putting the flag back on.
Yeah, that's the
Okay,
latest
any
one.
other questions? Has anybody got a problem, a hang-up with this process that doesn't quite understand the whole ramifications of this? It's pretty straightforward. It's been out there for us this whole damn time. But people have been looking at the wrong areas, trying to go to the state codes and the federal codes and all that coded shit, the canon laws and everything else, saying, oh, it's over here, it's over here. No, it's right in the Old Testament in the Mosaic laws, if you know how to look at it. And then it's in the de jure laws of the land. 21 years of age, right to vote. 25, being a representative. That means you had to be totally under no bondage to represent another man. Only in hell can you represent somebody while you're in bondage. I want to live in heaven. I don't want to live in hell. A lot of these movies, I've said before, have been trying to tell us a lot of this stuff. That people seem to love agony and pain, blood and guts, more than the flowers and the sweet smell of roses and watching the birds and the bees play around. That's not excitement enough for them. Yeah, you can learn a hell of a lot from the architectural constructions that the birds and the bees use to build their structures.
Hey, Patrick, I remember you were talking about you were pissed off about having to pay taxes for the public school when you didn't have children in the public school system.
Right.
I'm handling my mom's estate. She's not well, so I got her.
You need to first take care of your own stuff, okay? You can't argue with the other stuff until basically you can put a claim in against that. But if you have your mom's estate and you are the executor, then you can turn around and process that out. But you really need to get yourself out of the system, out of hell first, because they will attack you while you're still in hell.
Yep.
Okay? And they'll bleed you dry. You get out, then you can pull your mother's estate out and basically then terminate with the 1099-B, basically her presidential trade agreement with the state. And that's all that damn certificate of title to the property is. It's a residential trade agreement, a residential trade agreement. Everybody in this country was told in grade school that we could all be presidents of America. Yeah, we are P-residents or presidents. And the P-residents that's all that the damn Obama shithead is. He's just a P-resident of the White House. But he's a corporate P-resident. We really don't need to have a P-resident in this country on the de jure side, because everything right now is being operated by this false corporation. The P-resident is basically just a figurehead. Okay? Any other questions, comments, complaints, bitches, whatever? Okay, Tom, terminated. I'm off here. Talk to you guys later. You guys can continue to talk all you want to. In fact, it'd probably be good if you guys talked amongst yourselves and start learning to talk. Okay?
Thanks, Patrick.
So I'm off the line. Take care. Bye.
Thanks a lot.
Very much, Patrick.
Hi, Patricia.
Yeah.
So I think I'm going to do one only. Just do one big one with the 1041V and just send that in. Put it all on shore. Yeah, one big one.
Yeah.
I don't know how big, but Patrick said he did 125 million.
Yeah, I did one for 100.
Yeah, I might just do like maybe my age in millions. Well, it's good info, it's just step by step. And he says that all the 1040, all the 1099As have to have an accompanying money order. So the A has to have its own, the C has to have its own. Okay.
When we originally sent in the master money order, we weren't sending in 1041Bs, right? We're now doing that?
Yeah, he wants us to.
But now we're still...
And we send that into Ogden with our master, the bailment to the warehouse.
Right.
Yeah, that's the foreign Ogden one.
Yes.
Yeah. And we're using our Social Security number on the first money order, right?
Yeah, the front page is the Social Security tracking treasury routing number in the box money order with our registration account number, certificate of live birth or naturalization. Right. Yeah, with the letter that's inside the box. And then
he's putting Mr. and Mrs. on the very first thing in the address now?
On the top left side?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he was saying that to one of the guys to put Mr. whatever but he changed the address. Did he use U.S. possession after the city and state?
No.
He did.
Like mine is. He did, right? In Chino, California.
Not in the last money order he gave out. He just has the smear stuff.
Well, but he told us to put U.S. possession there
after your state. U.S. possession, right?
Yeah.
I gotta listen to this again. I got confused. I thought he said just put U.S., not the dots.
Yeah, U.S. possession.
Possession, yeah, for your address, and then your current in brackets is the zip code.
But I didn't put Mrs. or Mrs.
Right. Well, the last money order that he gave, which I think was Sunday, yesterday, was outside of the U.S. federal zone number.
Right.
Yeah.
But then verbally, I did talk to him, and he said to put
U.S. possession after this city and state.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
He left that out. He, sometimes he, because he left space for your city and state, so he didn't put that in.
I didn't even.
But there actually is a blank line between the city and state and the outside the U.S. federal zone, so we could write U.S. possession there.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Mrs., you would put Mr. or Mrs. with the upper lowercase name.
See, I forgot to do that, but I don't know if it's going to be a biggie. I can do it on the next one.
Yeah, do another big one.
Now, I have a question, though. Like, inside the box, inside the money order, where it says buy, is that significant, do you think? Because does buy, where you sign your name?
Yeah, underneath it has citizenship, bailer, authorized representative.
Does buy nullify signing it? Does that mean it's, like, invalid?
I don't know.
What do you think, Tom?
No. From what I understand by the buy is that that's basically saying you're doing it as that representative and not as a personal effort.
I get mixed messages about that stuff. And the last one, I get mixed messages, positive, negative about it. But then
Yes, Patrick hasn't talked much about that. A lot of other people talk about the buy.
And why are we unauthorized? I didn't ask him because I didn't want him to blow up.
Yeah.
I'm chicken. Why are we an authorized representative? Why aren't we the live person doing this? Don't you have to be a live person to do a money order?
May I answer this for you?
Yeah.
Yep.
I'd like that too. Go ahead.
Yeah, this is Kurt. The buy and authorized representative shows that you are separate from the artificial entity that the whole thing is done for.
That we're separate? We're separate from...
Your call cannot be completed as dialed. Please check the number and dial again. Announcement 4, switch to 0-3.
When we do it as a representative...
Welcome to Verizon Wireless. Your call cannot be completed as dialed. Please check...
Okay, I had mute out area code 828.
Oh, okay. When we do it as a representative, then we are not held liable for anything that may be wrong.
Okay, so that's basically stating we're not that dummy, fictional dummy.
That's right.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
But you are a fiction. Okay. You still
are a fiction, but you're representing the main fiction.
So, but you have to realize there's still some incongruency here because if you're signing Mr., Mrs., and all that, also the fact that you're saying, the whole thing is really still dealing with a person's identity, and you're saying you're a person, so it really isn't biblical because that was dealing with people, and this is just dealing with persons. So, the thing about Mrs. or Mr., that's just a fictional character married to the state. You have to realize those certificates and lists. So I don't really feel good about that premise of being protected in this status because none of those things apply in my situation even, but if you're comfortable with it, he was saying female, male, that's an animal, that's a species. You're still considered, a person, something that they can attach something to at some point. So just beware that, supposedly this is supposed to change some status about that, but it's the more you can be aware of these terms, female, male, those terms he was using. That's what you apply to an animal. Like when you take your animal to the vet, they always lift it up its leg to see if it's male or female. You know, that has nothing to do with being a man or a woman. So just so you're aware.
Okay, I'm just asking this because I was questioned this afternoon about a money order has to be written by a live entity or represented by a live entity. And
actually, a money order should be a complete negotiable instrument to be negotiated. And if you don't endorse it, I haven't looked at his, but if you don't endorse it, so if you have that complete, the front of it is always going to be the fiction. So that's going to be your representative. That's why they have that little micro-coded line.
Right. Well, checks aren't by live people. They're fictional.
Exactly. But I guess what I'm trying to get across is that there's really 3 entities on a negotiable instrument.
Okay.
And they're all you. You know,
all
just
right.
me, myself, and I.
Exactly.
They split us apart. You know, we are not a one. We are all both we're
the capital, and then we sign as the live person because that's what makes it negotiable.
Right.
You're going to sign as the person with the birth certificate. That's upper lowercase. There's no real signature for the living. All are persons. All of those certifications and those names and the orders they put those names and everything. That's theirs.
That's all the
that doesn't really matter. I don't think what order it's
right.
in.
When you're talking negotiable instruments, all fiction really. So, but the endorsement on the back is to be completely. You can put some qualifications on it. I haven't seen his. He's probably got something back there. But basically, that's going to be negotiable. Is going to be you're signing. You're signing as the upper lowercase birth certificate entity. You know, the first person that they made. You know, with the child's name. So, you know, I haven't seen it. Maybe there's more specific than that. But, you know, basically a money order, negotiable instrument, there's got to be the front can be signed by the authorized representative. I've also seen, you know, people doing the authorized representative in the back because they believe that being the authorized representative, it's more obvious that you're holding a mask and you are really the living behind this mask, and they should know that because you said authorized representative. So however you look at it and however he's doing it, what you're comfortable with, you know, I haven't really felt out this situation that is, you know, there's so many questions still about who you're addressing here in the Treasury and, you know, that the IRS. I mean, the IRS is just another corporation, you know. So, I mean, you have to operate those 3 entities, is what I'm saying. Me, myself, and I. When you're dealing with what you're dealing with.
Mm-hmm. Well, Patrick has expressed it earlier as we're wearing various robot suits: a banker, a bailer, or a postman.
Yeah. But even the bailer position, when he went through the three, they were all persons. They really were still all persons.
Hello?
Yeah, hello. We're here.
Can I ask how long you've been on?
Can I ask this young lady something that's talking?
Which one? The one that said hello, or this one here?
No, the one that was just talking about
person.
You know, Mr. and Mrs.
Yeah.
Know. Okay.
Yeah.
See, because I think I have an ideal of what you're saying. You're saying in order to be private, you want to be you, but you have to deal with commerce, so that means you have to use that artificial individual. And sometimes we don't have to say men and women's, but on documents, Miss and Mr. is okay because that's a point of birth. and I think that's what Patrick was getting to, was that's a point of we're not supposed to have nobility because that's kind of messed up over here. So, but we are addressing an individual that believes in themselves. Okay, so you can say ladies and gentlemen. You know, you can say that, because this other stuff is kind of. I think I know what you're trying to say, though. It's just that these people got us so twisted over here. That,
Yep.
You know,
it's kind of interesting that you say that, because I once settled a ticket by walking into the court and just holding up like some cash in my hand, say I want to pay it right here in public, and it was a little town court, and she said, you know, what's your name? I said, I don't have a name. And the people laughed that were there, but she knew what I was talking about, because I kept stipulating, I want to stipulate to the facts here, and I want to pay right here and now, because I didn't want to do a pleading. Because if I did a pleading, it would go on the ticket. So by doing it, she said, okay, well, just wait here, and then at the end, I actually did do a check. And so, because I didn't have the cash, it was an enormous amount of money anyway.
You shouldn't have gave them a check, though, because it's almost like you gave them
that
instrument again with a live signature. You shouldn't have, see, because they perforate signatures.
I qualified it.
Oh,
but,
okay.
But the thing is that at that time, then she called me Miss. Okay?
See?
And I was supposed to feel complimented, and I tried to feel it, but I cringed. I just wanted to disappear. How she got the last word in, you see? So I really don't think, I don't know.
No, actually, in a way, she bowed before you. She gave in to you. When she said Miss,
I would like to see it that way, but it did not feel that way. I'm just telling you.
Oh, okay. Because, I don't know.
They've got you. They've got you. That's it.
I know.
And especially saying, this thing that you're saying that you're what was the term you used, that you're a possession of? That's the type of terminology. I mean, it's right there.
I don't know, it's kind of spooky, because even when you know you're right, they'll prove that you're wrong. See, one of my most biggest things, because no matter what documents I keep coming across, it's in order for us to get the whole kettle, it says you have to prove to them that you're alive. I went, what?
I don't think this proves you're alive.
Wait a minute. Just check out what I'm saying. When I keep messing with these documents, that's why I'm sticking in with what Patrick is doing. It keeps saying, we have to come to them. And I'm like, well, who gave you permission that I have to come to you for this? But this is, I guess it's their game, their rules. I mean, they're the ones that made the junk up. So the thievery, the first murder, the first lie, that was them. It wasn't you, and it wasn't me. But they got some stuff in there saying, we have to prove life, that we're alive. And then I found something even more weirder than that. You never went to school. You never drove a car. You never bought a house. You never even went to the grocery store to get a credit card. It wasn't never you. It was your presantium. I went, what?
It was what?
Your presantium. Your placenta. I just say it wrong a lot of times. It was your placenta that did it. And I'm like in an argument with that one, but I kept quiet because I wanted to hear it. That's how they got us dead. That's why everything is in all uppercase letters. That's why all your IDs and your wallets has uppercase, because if you go to a graveyard, look at the tombstones, even Patrick brought that one up, that it's all dead. So I was like, wait a minute. You telling me they took this the day I was born, they had a couple of heartbeats in it a little bit, it stayed alive for a quick moment, then it died, and that's how the name and everything else went on that. And here it is. I'm right here, and I've been representing death all along. And I went, what? And
wow.
Yeah, so now I'm trying to figure out a way, even with the will and a lot of other stuff, and I hope Tom is out there listening too. Somehow we have to prove that we're alive. That's how you get the whole pot of beans. You have to tell them that percentium or percenter that they stole, you know, your other twin, because that's part of your DNA, your other twin. And I'm like, I'm trying my best trying to get around this, because that kind of like messed up my head. I didn't want to get off the topic, so I'm sorry, ladies. So
yeah, but I mean, it is kind of on bringing more to the table of the issue of the person, you know, why they did all this.
I just wanted to, you know, answer a little something. That's all, because we don't know what started this, but we do know for a fact what we're answering to, and whatever we're answering to, it's not you. It's never you. Okay? It's just that they got you thinking that it's you, but it's not. That's not you. You're a living vessel. Came here with love and everything else inside of you. These guys got us twisted as being dead. And like Patrick even said, he said, you know, they had in the courtroom, they said, all rise. that made me think, too. What, they're raising the dead. Well, it did, because they're actually raising the dead to the living. And then they said, all of you be seated, and now they're putting the dead back in the ground. I mean, that guy actually made me think about this. And I walked around with my head looking at the ground for a little while, trying to figure this out.
Yeah. And then you're looking down, and then you're looking in the wrong direction. It's just really hard to get around. I agree with you.
Yeah. So now I'm back on. I'm trying to get back on track, and because I put some things up for how people can get free stamps for everybody. So I'm gonna put some other stuff up there, because I kind of find out that the IDs and everything we're using, even what Patrick said, that's all the insurance thing, which it is. But who told you? Well, better yet, who told them that we have to force this down your throat to make you have this in order to do some of the things you like to do? Like when you drive, that's an enjoyment, right? That's not, what they got, a privilege? That's not a privilege, because if you look up 18 USC Code 31, you'll find out you never did need a driver's license, not unless you're dealing with commerce. You know, and then Remedy is HJR 192. There's a lot of stuff in Remedy. And then Patrick brings up the vessel, which is in Title 46 or Title 42, which they talking about the vessel. You think they talking about a boat. They're not. They're talking about you. So, man, I'm just trying to.
Yeah, and the dock, the dock for the boat is the dock door.
Yep.
You know.
Yep. And the port, that's your mom.
But
coming into port and letting off her cargo.
But that thing never came to port.
No, it didn't. Still SOS.
Yeah, it's stuck out there, and so supposedly this is supposed to bring it back, but I don't I don't get it.
Well, just take your time.
I'm sorry to interrupt, Dita.
No, go right ahead. Go right ahead, please.
Hey, Gita. This is Jennifer.
This is Jennifer. Hi, Jennifer.
How you doing?
Oh, good. What's up?
I just wanted to ask a question. Is Tom still on?
I don't know.
Thomas. Is this call being recorded?
Yeah. But you can ask the question for all of us. Somebody might be able to help.
Can I ask when y'all started?
I'm here. I keep my microphone muted.
Oh, okay. The question that I have is, I'm at a standstill right now. I did get my 98 EIN number with Gita's help, and I'm trying to get my Social Security card in my maiden name. And I went there last week to one of the departments, and they said that they couldn't give it to me because in my divorce decree, my last name is spelled 8 different times. So I'm waiting right at the present time to get that Social Security number, and I need to get a tax-exempt number to deal with wholesale flowers. Now, if I do that, is that going to harm me? And what does the 98 EIN number, does that pertain to the tax-exempt number that I have to establish in Wisconsin?
The way I understand it is the 98 number is a big component of being tax-exempt.
Okay.
So it's just knowing it in your heart.
Yeah.
But that was a question that someone was meant to ask Patrick. I suggested they brought it up. Is how do we proceed in business, doing our own business?
Exactly.
As we're doing this.
You do it in private.
And part of the answer seems to be is that as an employee, you just tell your employer to work off the EIN number, which is tax exempt. Well, the state EIN number to begin with.
Yeah, that's the number that begins with the 46, right?
It begins with anything but 98 and 99.
Hey, Jennifer, you wanted? Did you do a W-8?
No, I did not. I'm at a
W-8. I think a W-8 would exempt you because you're putting all your information in there. I mean, I don't use it.
Yes, that is another thing. The W-8, you basically declare yourself as a non-resident alien, which makes you tax exempt.
Is that the W-8 B-E-N or just the W-8?
Just the W-8.
Just W-8. And that's in our files, correct?
Yes, there's examples out there. One or two.
Okay.
Question on EIN. I had an EIN up until about, because I had a business, I had an EIN up until about 2002 or something like that. Anyways, I can't find anything that has that EIN number on it. Can I just go to the state of Minnesota vital statistics, or not state, the state of Minnesota?
If the EIN is for a business, you can't really use it for this. You've got to get the EIN for the estate first, and that basically kills off your strawman and makes you the executor to be able to act in his behalf.
Oh, the state EIN. Okay, I'm sorry, I didn't know that.
98 makes you foreign grantor trust, and that's the vehicle that you put everything in once you've gotten yourself and you've liquidated the entire account. But you can begin using it before you liquidate the entire account. Yeah, as I get what Patrick is saying, it's best to, once we get a lot of money off the ship and into the warehouse, to actually execute it all, process it all through our foreign grantor trust.
Okay.
But I can still use a whole lot of lessons on how we're supposed to act once we've gotten a hold of our resources, how do we act to keep us out of trouble?
Right.
Yeah, where do we put all that money?
Well, I'm wondering. I think what Patrick is saying too. I think it's safer bailment than it is in any commercial bank.
Yeah, I hesitate and put it in a commercial bank.
No, he said bury it in your backyard.
Yeah.
Yeah, remember?
Or get a big coffee can.
Yeah, or get a lot of land. That way. Well, don't put it in iron because somebody can use a metal detector.
Hey, did you see Breaking Bad? How he buried all that money in the desert?
No, I didn't know that.
You have to bury like a whole bunch of huge barrels with money in it in the desert.
Yeah, bury it in a lot of different places.
Yeah.
And then they mark it with you mark it with the longitude and latitude where you put it. That's your claim.
Well, wait a minute. Didn't they find a ton of Confederate money buried in the desert, and it was like weather beaten? They found the whole mess of it.
Really? That's interesting.
Yeah, but they couldn't use it. Because it was Confederate. They couldn't use it, but they found a lot of it in the desert.
Is this Bill talking?
No, this is
Lever Max.
Thank you. Alias Marvel.
Marvel.
Yeah. Oh, but I wanted to ask something about the back of Patrick's papers. And I'm gonna put up something for you guys for your own personal IDs after I finish working on it. So
cool.
Give me a little more time. I'm gonna put that up for you too. And that
when you
tax
say put that up, where are you putting it?
You know what? I'm gonna give it to Tom so you guys can get it. Okay. I'm gonna let Tom.
That sounds good. Hey, that sounds good. I got a question. Whoever can answer this. On the 1041 voucher, you know how you put all your information in? Do we, on the bottom where it says city, state, and zip code, do we put U.S. possession there too?
On everything. Yeah, on everything.
You did?
Everything. I put it on my envelopes.
Oh, okay. I'm going to do
Put it on there.
Yeah. I'm going to put it on my forehead.
No, don't do that. Because don't forget, Patrick is actually telling you that these guys have you in possession. You are an employee.
Yep. We're owned.
Okay. Yes.
We're owned.
Yes. And that's what he's telling you. That's all he's telling you. I mean, he had to, beat it in my head a couple of times, but I finally got that, yeah, he was right. He was right. So, and then Tom said something a couple of times, and I was like, yeah, he's right. So I'm over that now.
There are a couple of things to that point. We being owned. You were talking about how you can show yourself being a living being to those that are in the corporate. There is case law that says an affidavit can only be a valid affidavit if it is signed by a living individual.
Yes.
Oh, that's true.
So an affidavit is key for us to demonstrate our aliveness. And the other thing is, last year I got a frivolous filing penalty, $5,000. I did a very, very simple money order on the payment stub on that notice. And I sent it back into them with a 1099 OID and a 1040 voucher. And I put on the Form 1040, I made a mistake and wrote it down as an income, and then they took out taxes out of it. So I need to correct that. But my point is, and I put a cover letter with it saying, hey, I'm the original issuer of any money that is represented. And and I reminded them that your system says that all credit has to be returned to the creditor. If I'm the original issuer, I am the creditor, and it has to be returned to me.
What a pretty
And they turned around and gave that back to me as a refund. Well, I haven't received it yet because of some other issues I have going on with the IRS, and so they're holding it. But I got a notice saying, okay, we're going to refund you this amount of money. But my point is,
you're going to have to put a time limit on it then, force a time limit on them. Because we got papers in the group somewhere showing that the IRS, which Patrick did, he said it's two of them now. He's right. One of them will probably handle you the business that you want. The other one is a straight-up liar and a thief.
Right.
Okay? And they're the ones that's holding it. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
My point in telling you these two things is the affidavit says we're alive. The cover letter that I sent in says I'm alive because I'm the creditor.
Mm-hmm.
So with those two things, I told, with the affidavit, I tell them that I'm alive by way of the affidavit.
Okay.
And then with the cover letter, with me saying I'm the original issuer, I'm alive. I am the only one in this entire system that has any value, and I have linked that to them, and now I want it returned to me. So
in so many words, you're saying full faith and credit is you. Okay, I got that.
Right.
And then the actual issuer, well, who else will have the main idea on who I am and what I'm doing besides me? I'm the only one that can do that. So that's what you did without. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
So it was really simple, really straightforward. It was simple wording, just saying, look, I'm the issuer. My 1099 OID, original issue discount.
Mm-hmm.
My 1099 says I'm the issuer. My 1040, by the way I filled it out, saying everything must be returned to me as a refund, says I'm the issuer, I'm the creditor, please return it to me.
Oh, okay.
So
plain and simple. Thank you.
So we could do the same thing with our $300 envelopes. We're the issuer. Return.
As a matter of fact, I did that with the envelope that they sent me one of the notices in. I made that into a money order, and I sent that in as well. Mm-hmm. So I had $23.06 worth of interest on it. So with the $300 envelope, the $5,000 penalty fee, and the interest, it ended up being $5,326.06, I think is what it was. But like I say, I made a mistake on the 1040, and I wrote down that amount as an income. So they did their accounting like they're supposed to do, and they say, oh, well, he says he shows it here on the form as an income. Well, he neglected to take out any tax on it, so we better help him out and take the tax out. Well, they did that. That's what they're supposed to do. So, okay, now I need to turn in a 1040X, and I need to correct that and say, look, I made a mistake, plain and simple, straight up English. I goofed. I made a mistake. It shouldn't be shown as an income because I'm the original issuer. It can't be an income if I issued it. So I need to correct that, send that in, and tell them, look, the $5,300, $53.2606, that is mine. It should be returned to me. Now, I made a mistake. Please correct my mistake. Here's the form to say to do that. So.
Yeah, because I've got a crap load of $300 envelopes, and they did 4 frivolous filings on Gita, but it was a proposed $5,000 filing.
Yeah, I think I got 3 or 4. Yeah,
I got 4 of them, but all I did was write them a letter, and I never heard from them again because I challenged them on it, so they backed off.
What letter did you write?
I because they said that in law that and I said I conditionally accept your whatever, and I go, just forward me the law that
I didn't do anything because I just have it. I just put it aside. They didn't send anything afterwards.
Did you get these penalties because of the online payments you've been making?
No, this was from last December when we were doing the 1041s for the $1 million for the lunch money.
Well, I got I think it was a frivolous filing. I can't remember what. I think it was is that they just basically said I owed income tax on $10,000, and I at the suggestion of a friend, just wrote back, "What are you talking about? I'm confused. Please explain it to me," kind of letter.
Yeah.
And from that, I got a $300 envelope, 45 days, every 45 days saying we need more time to answer you.
We got to figure out how to get that back.
I have 23 envelopes.
They're giving it to us. We got to figure out how to take it.
Right. So I have 23 envelopes out of that.
Oh my God.
Wow. Just turn all those into money orders, send them back to them with an OID and whatnot, and you get all that as a refund.
Yeah, but the OID is only out of pocket. You would do an OID for, right?
No, I did it on the penalty fee.
Yeah, you did an OID and you got it?
Right, I made their penalty fee payment stub into a money order and sent that in with an OID and saying, hey, this is an original issue. Return it to me.
Right. Wow.
That's good. That works.
That is. I think that's excellent.
Yeah.
And because
all the stories that work, we should just put up everything we know that works, and that way everybody can just repeat it.
Yeah.
That's good. Yep.
And I suspect that now, since they know that I know how to do that, I won't get any more penalty fees. Because they're going to say, well, wait a minute. We sent him a penalty fee, and he turned around and made it into a refund for himself. We don't want to line his pockets with what we think we should be getting from him.
Yeah.
Don't send them any penalties that don't work.
Right. Well, couldn't you do this just like we do stamps? I mean, just like you do, like when you go in the store and somebody throw away their receipts. I mean, you always got people throwing away empty envelopes with that stuff on it. God knows I throw away a lot of them.
Yeah, it could be done, I'm sure.
Yeah, you can collect those and still send it in, right? I mean, can you do that, Tom?
Yeah.
Ooh,
yeah, WTP, you're making an awful lot of noise in the background. Could you mute yourself out?
I was going to ask a question.
Whoa.
Okay, well, I'm going to ask you a question, but that was way too loud. We didn't understand the thing.
I'm trying a different microphone. Sorry.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, it was. I guess I came onto the call too late because I guess Patrick's already gone, and I should have come on an hour ago. I thought it started at 9.
9 Eastern.
Oh my God, I'm dyslexic. Sorry. Anyway, so the thing is, the question I was going to ask is about, or that I was going to present to you guys, is along the lines of what you're talking about right now, in regards to these checks that I wrote to the bank and deposited into my account through the ATM for like $500,000. And so
what kind of check? What kind of check?
$250,000 each. Say again?
What kind of checks?
On a closed account?
Yeah.
Yikes.
And they were like directed to the treasury, and they just didn't process them properly. But they did send them back to me, and they gave me a little, saying an enclosed check or image replacement document is in lieu of the original check that you deposited. Please note that you can use this document in the same way you would use the original check. Under federal law, this image replacement document is a legal copy of your original check. So I think they kept the original so that they could do the I guess 1099A. So do I have to do a 1099 to counteract their trying to pilfer my check? What is y'all's thoughts on that?
Yes.
Did you actually
if you issued money, you should do it.
I am going to do it.
But there's somebody, there's a woman in jail for doing that.
Excuse me. Do a certified copy of what you sent, and because you're going to be filing in two places, and you send it to the address that he gave for the IRS in Ogden, Utah. You send a certified copy of that with your affidavit. At the same time, you file the 1099A with the. But remember, the A is just your reporting. That's all you're doing. It's a report. So you still have to follow up with an OID or something else. You have to really hone in now and learn this stuff if you're going to take this step. But when you send in the 1099A, you send in the 1099-6. That goes to Texas, Austin, Texas. But you need to do a certified copy with an affidavit of, especially if when you issued it, the way I protected myself was I sent them a W-9, and my whole process was, why aren't you sending in for the OID? Quit bothering me and do what you're supposed to do. And so basically, I put a little bit of that process with the affidavit that they did not return the W-9 EIN. So I was basically reporting to the IRS Center in Ogden, Utah, that, showing a copy of what I had done with the 1099. So you have to send the 1099A to the party, the B copy of that. So you have to think this through. You can't just file a 1099A out of clear. Who did you give the money order to? IRS?
It was a check. No, it was to the Bank of a bank.
Okay, so you need to send them a B copy, and with the B copy, you have to send them the W-9 and ask for their EIN. I mean, you may have it, but the point is they're not going to give it to you, so then you can say you will refuse.
Oh, it was in one of their EIN is in one of the emails or something that I saw online here on our
Okay, but my point is that if you are directing your process like to the CFO or to the CEO, and you're requesting their EIN because you sent a money order, here's a copy of everything, and it hasn't been properly processed, and you want their EIN now, so that they can ask them to fill out the W-9 and do the OID. So you're requesting them to negotiate it. Okay.
Okay.
And
I got you.
Yeah, and you also then, but the reason you're going back to Ogden with your proof of having processed this yourself as best you could is to show them that they never gave you the information on the W-9. So you would have to do that like a couple weeks after. You give them 14 days. I would also give them a statement of account, and that should be signed by the debtor, basically, who has not seen that this has not been paid, and so you're going to be signing it with the all caps name, statement of account, because according to the UCC, you can issue, the debtor can issue a statement of account when they refuse to give you a proper one, which they didn't with a money order. So you're going to show a statement of account. Try to look that up online. Somebody must have a copy of someone there somewhere.
Yeah, I saw that
and show a zero balance, paid in full. Okay, and then they have 14 days to respond. When they don't, and you send them the 1099A B copy, and you send them, this is the proposed that you're sending in, you're reporting to IRS, and you want them to do the OID and process it, and send you the EIN. So that's a couple of things you're doing in that process. And you send a copy of some of that with your affidavit. This affidavit now would be by the creditor, saying, they have not returned, or the authorized representative, that they have not, because the authorized representative basically is doing the legislation of the process. So you're doing all the communications. So you're basically saying in that affidavit to the IRS that it goes to Ogden after 2 weeks when they don't return, that they never responded, and so on and so on. At the same time, you're going ahead, doing what you said you're going to do, and putting that 1099A with a 1096 into Austin. So you're doing both. You got to think this through, because you're doing two things at the same time. So you don't need to send a copy of the money order or anything like that to Austin, Texas, but you do need to send a copy to what you sent. And so then you're going to do it certified mail. So you're going to have a copy of what was, you're going to show evidence that was sent to Austin. And, believe me, they check it. But you're operating on both. You're doing that on the public side, Austin, and the private side, Ogden. And believe me, they respond to this, especially when you show that you really try to process it yourself. You see what I'm saying?
But so it's going to be like an acquisition or an abandonment?
It's going to be you're acquiring the account, basically. So you want to do to be the creditor. You when you issue money, you want title. So you're basically getting title to the account by doing a 1099A acquisition. So you're getting title of the account, and they're getting the money. See? It's an exchange.
Okay. So
you're doing acquisition. It's going into your rowboat. It's going into your boat. Okay. Not that you can do anything with it that I know of, but
I was just thinking, if I did that, like what you're thinking is, present it to them and as a either an acquisition or an abandonment, and then let them know.
You're going to do the abandonment and get the money. You don't have to do anything. But what you're doing is you're trying to clear up your credit, basically, and show that you're the creditor. If you gave the money, if you issued money, you should get credit for that. You see what I'm saying?
Well, it wasn't real money. It was just money I was trying to generate, right? I was trying to get, and ask them, say, my dad told me to do this. If you issue a money
order, you put your signature on it. You're on the substance side. You've got to go through with the substance side. You can't just abandon it.
Yes.
If you're going to, you can't operate on the private side and then just abandon it. Is screwing around. See, then I think there's another step that should be followed after that is to get it off the credit report.
Well, it's not like it's on the credit report, because it was on a closed account. They're not going to even acknowledge that it existed. They just kept my check so that they could do something with them, either file them as an OID of some sort to get that money that I wrote.
Yeah, but that's why you have to do the second part of that process to them, and you send it to the CFO, and you say, this is copy of what was sent to you. Here's the B copy of the 1099A. It's up. Now you are responsible to do the 1099 OID or whatever to get the money. Otherwise, you're obstructing.
Yeah, they're not acting in honor then. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm kind of following you here. Because it might be
no matter what, isn't that still? They stole his property anyway.
Yeah, because it is property. You're right.
Yeah.
And they give me back a copy.
They didn't give you back anything. Well, I think that's where Patrick comes in with those 3 copy things. So, on the bill of lading, but. Anyway,
this says it's an image replacement.
That's still your property, though. That's your property.
If you gave them the money order, there's got to be an account. you want to acquire the account.
Yep.
And you need to do a statement of account saying that whatever balance was, on it, that it's zero. So you got to think through how you're gonna, because you're gonna process it. You're attempting to process it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you still remember all your numbers, right?
Of course, yes.
Oh, okay. Well, you got them. You nailed them right there.
You mean the account numbers and stuff? Yeah, of course.
Yep.
I mean, I wrote it with with micro ink and everything. I did it I did it like legal in that regard.
Oh, well, guess what? You got them. You got them. It's just that I don't know how to do a claim. I wish I did, or else I would tell you.
Yeah,
believe me, when I did this, you know what? It was on a credit report that was the IRS immediately went through, and it was off the credit report, just like that. Boom. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Maybe he should be calling you so he can go boom, get it out the way.
So it says.
So all you're doing is acting in honor. That's it. And they, you show them, you process it. They can't deny that. But remember, you have to go to Ogden.
This is what they say. They say, thank you for your ATM deposit for the above amount for $500,000. In reviewing your deposit, we found that an item that is non-negotiable and not valid for deposit, we have adjusted the amount for you for $250,000 and deducted that from your account. So they put it in and took it right back out.
Oh.
That's what they did to me and Pat too, and Marshall, and we had the routing number and the account number. They put it in and then it took it out.
Yeah.
Wait a minute.
Then that's what they do. And then they go and file the OIDs on it, right?
Yeah.
That's what it sounds like. They're pulling a scam on us.
Yeah, this sounds like they're
this is where the 1099A comes in, but you have to put other paper with it to Ogden, and an affidavit, like somebody said, and if you sign authorized representative, you're legislating this account. It's like you're standing back and doing the paper work, that needs to be done to process this. But
okay, cool.
Yeah.
Well, it was just something I was trying. I didn't have this in mind, but after hearing, the group and from the last couple of calls with the way that they're going and they're doing their reclamation on things, and I was reading some stuff in that, and I was going, man, these guys are reclaiming everything.
Yeah, I don't know how to do that part. I just know how to get IRS.
Do it with the OID.
Yeah.
But Chris, it sounds like you can help us on the payments that we have made online that have gotten bounced back to actually get that money for ourselves.
Oh yeah, that's good, Tom. That's good.
Yeah,
because
you got the printout. You got the printout of what they said and everything, and you.
Oh yeah, and also I did that with all that money with the paying the public debt. I did it on that same account. And I've got
all the credit that you issue, you've got to follow up with a 1099A in some way. And if you figure out how to reclaim it back with the OID, there should be something in the terms of agreement of the settlement of account that the account is zeroed, and that because they're in dishonor, there's something somewhere that it goes back to you then. That you're going to issue the IOD back. I don't know how that logic works.
That's interesting.
I'll let you know how it works, but it's going to be interesting.
You know what? No, it's interesting. I did that for my daughter's college funds, and they accepted it every time. I got the verification codes. It was accepted. The college sent me a email saying, well, she has, say, $270,000 in her funds for school. And it was in there, and then, but now it's a minus same amount. So they accepted it, and then they reneged it.
So then you can do the OID in the same way.
It must have to go to you.
I can't hear. Too many people are talking.
Oh,
sorry.
And then they do double talk. I called the bank today, and one of the guys said that he said two things. He said they couldn't find your account. This is at the Federal Reserve. And then he said, we return the funds. I told him, I said, you're telling me two different things. Which one is it? And he said, well, it's the same thing. I said, no, it's not. He said, well, that code says the same thing. It means the same thing. And I go, no, it doesn't.
No, he was lying. He's
lying through his teeth.
Yeah, because everything like when Patrick was talking about the transportation department, those are the guys that's like the highwaymans on this stuff. You know, they handle what comes in and out the door. They don't care about who does what. They thing is numbers and everything, even with JHR 192, everything is meant to offset a debt.
Right.
Why?
And that wouldn't have gone through unless they could find the account. Because if you've got the wrong number in the routing number, it will not go through. So there was an account, and they knew it. So
you had it right.
Yes.
You still got it right because now
those computers know.
Yeah. See,
that's interesting.
The computers know. It's the people that's getting in the way because they are so greedy.
They're trying to double talk, and we're too smart.
I think when this stuff happens and it goes through, there's a red flag or something that alerts them to check it manually. And then
but when you show the IRS the instrument that you sent or the evidence that you have, believe me, they're going to be right on their ass. And as soon as they know that you send in the 1099-A, they're going to know that the IRS they're getting ready to be audited.
So I just have to print out all the verifications, send it in with a 1099-A to show them that.
Yeah, they want to know who's issuing credit. Believe me, they want to know.
Well, can I ask you this then? You know, if you file a UCC-1, you do a secure part agreement, and you put that on records. I mean, that's like because in a way we have to play their game, right? And I don't fully know their game because I'm not trying to know their game, but I guess I need to. But once you file your Uniform Commercial Code, you are taking property upon yourself, even though it's not yours. But you can't use it. Because in order to walk into any courtroom or any business or whatnot, you have to step forward. You have to bring yourself forward. You know, you can't stand in the back and just say words to these people because they don't get that. But if you have stuff and records for them already, guess what? You done pretty much sunk their battleship. Because
I got the verification numbers for every transaction that went through.
Do you?
If you got a Uniform Commercial Code, if you got your Uniform Commercial Code and the secure party agreement, guess what? They brought harm against you. You can get them for that.
I should go.
No, but the IRS is even without that. If the IRS is wants to know, because that's how the banks are getting richer and we're getting poorer. I mean, the accounts are not balancing at the IRS when this kind of stuff goes on. So you're basically just trying to report, and I'm talking about on the private side. You want to report to the private side that credit has been issued, and you're not quite, I don't know in each individual case or each individual circumstance exactly how, but think it through and just know that, I mean, it's not going to be very clear, but when these things that we've talked about, there's an affidavit and things like that, and a copy of what you've done, but the 1099-A is bringing it forward. Of course, that goes to one place, and then on the other side, you have to show a copy of that and show some kind of, you want to send that instrument, a copy of that instrument or a copy of something with what you've done to the private side, because they're the ones want to know about the credit.
Right. Okay, listen, I'm going to print out all the verification codes that I got that it was accepted, right? I got about, 6 of them. Because I kept putting in $50,000 towards a college, 45, but just playing around. And the interesting thing is that it took my account and 4 different bank routing numbers went through. So that to tell you how many banks are using every bank is using our ID, our codes.
Yeah.
So it all went through. So I'm going to take those, print them out with verification codes accepted, and then I'm going to do a 1099A and send it in with those sheets with the verification codes. Should I add something else to that, like a bill of exchange, or just a 1099 acquisition with all those verifications? Well, I don't know.
Is Tom here?
She did it online, so there's no money.
I'm here now. My computer froze about 5 minutes ago, and I've just rebooted and got in a few seconds ago.
Okay, Pat had a beautiful question. So, Pat, could you please say that again?
Me?
Yeah.
No, that was you, Pat.
That wasn't
No, that was me. That was Geeta.
Oh.
I just want to say that maybe because you, excuse me, I just want to say maybe because you did do it online, and there wasn't a negotiable instrument, a private instrument, that in essence you were doing it in public, and
well, all I did was
it's hard to tell if
the
credit. So maybe they were correct in not accepting it, it went through and then they didn't accept it because in it wasn't privately negotiated.
Well, they accepted it, and a few days later they took it back.
So I don't know if you can do the 1099A in this instance because
that's why I'm just doing the stuff that we're working on now, the money orders with the vouchers and the circulars with the attachment appendix and stuff. Mm-hmm. I'm doing that stuff and then follow through with the other stuff a little bit later.
Now, when you do follow through with the other stuff, when you finally do a 1099A, do include in your process to the private side the other transactions that you put through online, okay?
Okay.
You see what I'm saying?
I did a bunch. Yeah, I did a bunch. I did it for my credit card. I did 3 of them for my credit card, and they took a positive. They accepted it, and then they reneged it.
Yeah, so you want to know what's happening with that credit. So I don't know if you're asking them whether
I kept everything. I'm going to print out everything and file it when I'm doing the 1099A after I do the.
See, they removed it. They removed it from my account.
They took for me.
They took all the verifications off.
Oh no, I
kept it. I kept the verification because you get a verification email notice, and I kept.
Oh, I've got the notices. Yeah.
Yes, keep that because that has a verification number on it, a transaction number.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I've got those.
Yeah, that's important because if a transaction happened, I mean.
Your number.
You don't know if you should issue more 1099A or not.
Okay.
Well, that's a good one to ask the boss.
Hey, can I ask y'all one more thing along those same lines? I did that same kind of thing, with the transactions online, with that same account going through the pay.gov to pay the public debt. So I did like 10 million probably. Right?
Really? That's nice.
Yeah. Well, and I was just doing it through that closed account, and they would accept each one, and each one of them would spit out one of those transactions that has the routing number and everything, and the acceptance, and that when it's going to close and all that stuff. And I got all those printouts just like what you're saying you have.
You mean with the verification numbers?
Yes, exactly.
Good.
And so I'm wondering if you use that same kind of original issue to get that, as a creditor trying to do the right thing.
Did yours bounce back?
When I wrote to to Cleveland, they said I had the wrong routing number on one set, about 2.5 million. And on the other ones, I don't know yet because I haven't got a response back on those.
My impression of all of this, though, is that it probably is going to be wise for us to work with Patrick on moving big chunks over into the warehouse and getting ourselves really set up, and then we can use these techniques to clean up the mess afterwards.
Yeah.
Yes. Good point.
Hey, Tom, I'd like to ask you a question.
Sure.
Okay. It's back to the money order, the back of the paper, where it has endorsement by. Now, that's the United States Treasury IRS Department and agent, and then completed by. We don't sign that. That's up to them to sign.
No, that's them. That's what the value of that is to us, is that we get an acknowledgement that they've done something.
Right, because we're not the agents. Okay.
Right.
Okay. So that's pretty much it. Because I'm gonna sit back and do all of that. Because I did something with the Federal Reserve once before, but because I was trying to get the black card.
Right.
Okay. And I feel
we need to get our Federal Reserve account set up. We need to move a big chunk of money off so that we're basically set, and then we can do these smaller details.
Yeah, but I did this years ago, though, Tom, and somebody said, put the zero in front of it, and whatever the letter is, make that a number. And I went, okay, so I did that, and then I found out Patrick said, no, you should have left it a letter. So that was years ago, so that's probably why I didn't get the card. So
right. As Patrick pointed out, people who've gotten the card but without the right Federal Reserve Bank authorization, we can't activate it and use it.
That's one thing I was going to ask.
We got to get permission from them some kind of way? I mean, how would we go about doing that?
Well, we do that by setting up our master account at the Federal Reserve.
Okay, that's his signature card. And that's
Appendix 1 and Attachment B. The Appendix 1 for the master account and Attachment B for our two sub-accounts, Estate and Foreign Grantor Trust.
Right, and with the Attachment B, that's how you add in your estate EIN or your 98 EIN or your passport.
No. Passport is used as an account number.
Okay, so you only use the state EIN or the 98 EIN for the Appendix B if you want to add on to another account, correct?
The EINs are the routing number and on those accounts, and the passport is the account number.
Okay, cool. Thanks. Or because the birth certificate is a checking account, and a Social Security card is a savings account. Got it.
No. Social Security now is just a routing number.
Oh. Okay, so I got to get some of the old stuff out my head.
Right.
I got it. And give me a couple of weeks. I'll be posting up some. I'm gonna because I told the ladies and a couple other people that heard me. I'm gonna send some stuff directly over to you, just like that. Just like that post stamp.
Sure.
Well, I got another way how it becomes simple to pay bills by using the same process.
Okay.
So I'll be sending that
You mean using a postcard?
No. Your tax procure stamps.
Yeah.
By using those. Yeah.
And,
that's another way of doing it. And these people, trust me, they do know about it. They do know about it because I even went to the post office and said out loud, I don't know why people buy stamps. Okay. I just said it to their face, and then I gave them some, the UPU 742. And they looked at me like they were stupid. I was like, what are you going to do about it?
Oh, they're like deers in the headlight, huh?
Yes, it's right there in their own paperwork.
Yeah, well, they keep them dumb.
Yeah, they do, just like the IRS. They purposely train those people to hurt us. That's what it is. It's I don't know why people can't say that all of us are family, all of us are one thing, and all of us are in the same boat. Why? I don't live on Mars or Pluto. I stay right here, right? So we all deal with what's right here, and there is no us and them. And whoever think that, yeah, I mean, people need to stop that. You know, there's nobody better than you, or there's nobody worse than you. And if people quit doing that, maybe we can get something done and get these things that eat babies and rape little kids out the way.
Now, those are predators from another planet.
I don't know what they are, but I don't never want to meet them in a dark place. Okay, because I don't know what they are.
Well, somebody was talking about filing the UGC, and I don't know if Patrick he said that was not necessary.
Oh.
I don't know.
Well, if you want to go in that form, I guess then maybe so.
But
I think you're right. It's not necessary, but if you set up the initially or whatever, I'm not even worried about that now. But what I was going to ask Tom is Tom, when you're saying about the master account, there's a document in there that says something about filling out a authorization. It's like you're authorizing who can sign on master account.
on the attachment B, you or I guess on the master account you can put the other person authorized. Well, since I don't have any other person in there, but the form must be filled out, I just put my name in there a second time.
Oh, I understand that, but it seemed like when I was reading the instructions that it said something about that you have to have this other document filled out before you
Yes,
yes,
and I actually brought this up with Patrick today. One of our people, through Gene Keating, he has about 12 documents that Gene Keating set up to set up a Federal Reserve account. And I brought that up to Patrick today, and he says for now he wants to deal just with the appendix and the attachment, Appendix 1 and Attachment B. But yes, we do have in the background that if we're going to need that, then we have a set of documents that Patrick can rip into.
Okay, because that's what I read when I was filling those things out, and I've already faxed them over and everything.
Yeah, I noticed that. He basically has resolutions from the equivalent of his private board for him to have the authority to go apply for this account and all that kind of stuff. Authorization letters. Yeah.
Okay, I was just
and applications for the various services. Well, so to do the ACH, we probably have to apply for that.
Yeah, okay, yeah, that's the attachment B you're talking about.
Yeah, that's the online payment process.
Okay.
Automated
did you do a
clearinghouse.
pass-through also?
Pardon?
Did you do a pass-through also?
No.
Because I set that up with that closed account, just for shits and giggles.
Right.
That's the thing.
No, that is among the documents that Prakash did do. But I sort of agree with Patrick. Let's do the big stuff first and then clean it up.
There you go. I'm on board with that. And now, what's the schedule for these calls this next week? Because
the calls are always Sunday at 8 o'clock Eastern and Monday at 9 o'clock Eastern, except when Patrick calls a special, and we've been getting a lot of specials recently. But that doesn't change the Sunday and Monday calls.
Okay, so Sunday at 8 Eastern.
And, that's all. Get the welcome letter. Print out the welcome letter. It has all this stuff in there.
I can still do that and still mess it up.
Yeah, welcome letter came out again yesterday.
appreciate all y'all. And
okay, it has all the stuff about the links and how to download the calls and all that good stuff. The backup site, where to go do online faxes if you want to, how to do faxes through the email if that's what you want to do, an online place to modify PDFs.
Yeah.
And I suggest downloading all the files to your computer and then using DOS commands to search for files instead of saying, where do I find this, where do I find that.
Yeah, that's a good advice for sure. Because there's a ton of documents in those and calls and 2 or 3
right,
gigs.
But the DOS directory command allows you to say, give me a list of files with this thing anywhere in its name.
Yeah, I'm familiar with that. Are you going to be posting this call from tonight?
Oh yeah, they all get posted. The links get posted up, and then I download the call to the backup site.
All right. No, I came in. I'm surprised that y'all were still on. I was glad about that, but I was thinking I made the call, but I realized.
You want to hear what Patrick said? He did a very good summary of the process too, with the current modifications.
Excellent.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, until next Sunday, right? Sounds
right,
so far away. I'm getting close to you guys.
Well,
I'm sure we'll have a meeting.
I wouldn't be surprised if there's a special.
Oh, cool.
Because we've got a lot of 1099s coming out.
Oh, yeah, it's got a whole set of money orders, too.
Yeah.
So I got my work cut out till next call. It's going to be fun.
Right.
It's going to be fun.
Right.
Okay, good night, guys.
Good night.
Good night.
Okay, thank you all.
Good night.
I'll turn off the recording now.